So we just arrived a few moments ago outside of the comic shop here. I just saw the owner walk in. So we're going to head in here and see what we can find. I've heard really good things about this comic shop from one of the other comic shop owners not too far away from here. So we'll head inside and see what we can find. My wife has already told me that she is not coming inside with me, so I think she's going to head to a store nearby and kind of hang out and let me do my thing on the inside. Maybe we could convince her to come inside and shoot some footage, so we'll see. This content is sponsored by BCW Supplies. Visit them at bcwsupplies.com. Today, the wife and I hit Comic Collector Shop in Sunnyvale, California. As I mentioned, I've heard some wonderful things about the shop from other owners in the area, and I have to tell you, the shop did not disappoint. When I arrived there, I immediately asked the guy working in the shop where the low number Amazing Spider-Man and X-Men books were. And he, of course, asked, well, what do you mean by low number? My response, single digit. Let's just go for it. And he pulled out box after box after box of low number Amazing Spider-Man and X-Men. And what was really cool is that they didn't just have one copy of a book. They actually had multiple copies of the same issue, which is really cool and also a little unusual. As you guys know, oftentimes you can hit a shop and they will have a good book, but they may only have one copy of that book, especially if you're talking about older books, right? Your Silver Age books and books like that. They may only have one copy, and either you buy that copy or you don't. What was great here is that they actually had multiple copies of books, in some cases as many as 6 copies of Amazing Spider-Man to choose from, which was really great because I was able to open up each one of the books, kind of look at them, look at the condition, look at the staples and the spine and the ticks and all of that good stuff that we always look for. And I was able to pick the best of the best from what was available, which was fantastic. So I want to show you guys the books that I picked up, and then I also want to tell you a little bit about my exchange with the owner after I actually left the shop. So these books that I'm going to be showing you don't have a ton of significance other than the fact that they are helping me to complete my run of Amazing Spider-Man, which makes them special in my mind. So the first book is Amazing Spider-Man number 30. This is a really nice copy of this book, and I think they have 4 copies of this one on hand that I was able to look at. I picked the best of what was available, and as you guys know, these black and dark covers can be really hard to find in nicer grades just because they wear really quickly. This one is actually in nice shape. There are a few spine ticks going down the side, but there is nothing majorly wrong with this book, whether you're looking at the front, the back, or the inside pages. The inside pages are actually pretty darn white, which is really, really surprising. I am definitely pleased to have this book in the collection. The next book that I picked up, just like Amazing Spider-Man 30, is also in great shape. I think they had 3 copies of this on hand that I was able to kind of pick from. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 47, and it is a really nice cover featuring Kraven. It isn't crisp white, but it definitely is better than most books that I've seen with a white cover of this age. It's a really, really nice book. And like I said, I was able to open these books up, look at the inside, and everything checks out on this book. Definitely pleased to have this one in the collection, and that spine is in really, really nice shape. So definitely pleased about this one. The next book didn't come from the shop. It actually arrived from someone who subscribes to the channel, who knew that I was looking for Amazing Spider-Man books and knew I needed this book and decided to just send it over to me. This is Amazing Spider-Man 204, featuring the Black Cat. So definitely a cool book, and it is in really, really nice shape. So definitely I appreciate this act of kindness. So what happened when I was at the shop is that I had my eyes on a book, and I think that they had, I want to say maybe 6 copies of this particular issue. And I'm not going to tell you which one because you might see it. But they had 6 copies of it, and I looked through them. I found a copy that was really, really nice. Opened it up, started flipping through. Everything looked good. Got to the back cover, noticed a small piece of tape. And the guy commented that he didn't believe that the owner had seen that tape because it wasn't mentioned on the front of the top loader. Because I guess anytime there's a defect, if you will, the owner writes it on a sticker that is placed on the top of the top loader, and it wasn't there. So as I looked at it, I wasn't too concerned about the tape. But as I held it up and looked at it in the light, what I noticed was that the light was coming through in a circular format. What had happened was someone at some point had torn a circular piece out of the back cover and taped it perfectly back into place where you really didn't notice it. And so what I did is I looked at the other 5 copies. The one with the chunk in the tape was by far the nicest copy with the nicest white pages on the inside. And I basically told the guy that was working the shop, I'd like to buy this book, but I won't pay this price because of the tape. And the price wasn't bad, but the price could have been better as a result of the tape. So he said, I'm going to call the owner. I'll have a conversation with them, and one of us would call you back. An hour later, I got the call from the owner, had a wonderful conversation with him about the book, about what my interests were. He stated a price that fit. The price fit with the condition of the book. And I am at some point going to shoot back down to Sunnyvale to pick that book up. So shout out to the owner for being responsive and being flexible on the price. And ultimately what he has done and what the guy working the shop have done is win a customer. I am going to be going back to the shop because they have some amazing inventory and by my estimation, some great customer service. So if you're ever in Sunnyvale, I definitely encourage you to check this shop out. Don't buy any Amazing Spider-Man because everything that is there is mine. So don't touch it, but definitely check out the shop. So as always, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you found it entertaining and maybe even informative. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. Take care. Be sure to visit our sponsor at gocollect.com.